Many people will be familiar with an Arnold press, and that's where you have your palm of your hand facing toward you and then you go into a shoulder press above your head. That's a very common movement to do in the gym, but actually very, very effective for training the shoulder through different ranges or through its full range of motion. Now, what usually happens is people go quite heavy with this movement, but in this video, I'm using a 2 kilo dumbbell. Now, if you don't have any equipment at home, this is actually a fantastic movement to do with no weight in your hand whatsoever, and you're just teaching your shoulder how to move freely. Now, the reason why we do it in a kneeling position is because we want this foot, again, to be grabbing the floor, the knee to be directly over the second toe, so this point here, and I can have a concept of being able to stabilize through this hip. Whilst I'm stabilizing through this hip, I want to connect and make sure that the serratus anterior muscles, so those finger-like muscles that go over in the rib cage underneath where my arm is there, is trying to connect and rotate towards this hip here. So I'm thinking I'm connecting this shoulder region to this hip and locking that position in. Whilst I lock in this position, I want to create intra-abdominal pressure so I don't move from side to side. And then what I'm going to do is breathe out and slowly raise the dumbbell over my head. So we get to this position where my palm is now facing towards the camera. Now, when we're going to this position here, you may find there's some restrictions or it feels very tight, or you have to either shrug up excessively or tilt your head to that side. Now, this is a mobility drill where we're looking to keep our hand here to make sure that our chest doesn't pop up and that we have any compensation patterns. What we want to do is just gently allow the shoulder to go through its full range. So going into this position here and then going into a more lengthened position of this serratus anterior whilst breathing out and steadily connecting this hip to this shoulder region. I'm slightly extending my thoracic as I come up, and then I'm slightly crunching as I come down. And again, the hand is in that position to ensure there's not much movement. What you may find is if the shoulder is restricted, as you push your hand up and it goes further, the rib cage will want to pop up. This hand is to push the rib cage down and keep them connected into this hip throughout the movement. If you do so, you may find that the full movement is restricted. However, by carefully walking through and doing it to the ability that you currently have, you will notice some range of movement improvements over time. Again, if you have a bilateral difference, so one side is more restricted than the other, work through the range you have to the best of your ability without inducing any pain, but keep doing it with as much intra-abdominal pressure as you can, as this will eventually improve the entire mobility of the exercise.